Damon.
BBC Radio Leicester.
Hey, good afternoon to you as well. It's 1:15. Well, next this afternoon, I'm going to tell you more about a charity that arguably is a jewel in the crown of Leicestershire. A charity, though, that you may never have heard of. Bamboozle is a Leicester-based charity that offers a whole host of activities through performance arts for severely disabled children. Well, they've got a big night coming up, and here to tell us more is friend of the show, trustee of Bamboozle, Gary Toward. Gary, how are you?
Absolutely brilliant, Eddie. Thanks for having me.
It's always nice to see you, Gary, you know, and normally we'll be talking about your writing, the school that you're doing works, the Magpie, you're being for Table Talk, but something that not shocked me, but something that surprised me is how much, I think it's your modesty more than anything, you do for charity, and in particular Bamboozle. So tell me, what is Bamboozle, and what do they do?
I've got to say, 6 months ago, I had no idea what Bamboozle did. In fact, I'd never heard of them. And since retiring from the regular job as a head teacher, I'd avoided, like the plague, of becoming a trustee or on the board of governors or anything like that. But I got a tweet from an ex-student of mine, Chloe Bradshaw, who said, would you consider being a trustee of Bamboozle? So I Googled it, had a look, and thought, do you know what? I'll go along and find out. And I went along thinking, well, I'll go to this board meeting, and if it's stuffy, if they're just going to be talking about money, if they're going to be people there that are just sort of ticking the boxes to say, I do some charity work, well, I'm not going to be interested. But the first thing I saw was a whacking great bowl of crisps in the middle of the table, so that was awesome. And there was cake, and there was tea, and there was coffee, and people were laughing. And people were doing very, very serious stuff for the benefit of, as you say, severely disabled kids. But they were doing it and putting the effort in. And when people were saying, who fancies doing this? Somebody was saying, well, I'll do that. And it wasn't just turning up and signing a few documents or ratifying a few policies. So that's how I got involved. But this started, I think, let me just sort of check the date because it's important here. It started in the 90s, 1994, I think, by inspirational CEO Chris Davis and Sue Pycroft. Yeah, 1994. And what it is it's arts-based, as you say. It's in Leicestershire. It's in Leicester, near the Walker Stadium. Not the Walker Stadium anymore, is it?
King Power.
King Power.
Good from you.
Sort of back in time there, time warp. And what it is sort of a series of linguistic and behavioural strategies to support and develop hard-to-reach kids. So hard-to-reach is, anything from moderate learning difficulties to severe and complex autism. And it's blown me away. It was completely out of my comfort zone. I was invited to go to see one of their presentations at Curve, where they were doing the first performance of a new show that they take round theatres, but they do stuff directly in schools. They work with families. All the stuff they do for families is free, by the way. And I sat there through this performance where, there was everything. It was called The Gentle Giant. There was everything from music, songs, puppetry, different textures happening, smells, dance, mad dance with wheelchairs. And the reaction from kids, their parents were there, who clearly had severe sort of disabilities, both learning and physical, was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. And obviously something, a tiny difference is a massive difference for somebody in that position.
And, I mean, like you said, you're a retired head teacher, Gary. You must have had lots of offers to sit on boards and to be a trustee. Bamboozle has certainly resonated with you, something you want to get involved with. How important for children that use Bamboozle is it with performance art that it stimulates their imagination?
These I think are, as I said, right out of my comfort zone. I'd never ever thought about how you might go about doing something like this. And because it is so stimulating using all of the different sensory experiences and the way that it's done in the Bamboozle method, it seems to work, and it seems to have a very positive effect. I mean, if I just read you this quote that I sort of picked up from a parent, actually from a teacher where Bamboozle had been to the school, it said, amazing. My student gets very little pleasure from most day-to-day activities as he is very sensitive, is totally blind, not usually happy with physical stimulation, and spends a lot of his day self-harming. He wears a boxing helmet to protect his face from the harm and is usually covered in blankets for comfort. Today, he sat through the whole Bamboozle experience with minimum blankets, his helmet off, and his head held high. He laughed and rocked and vocalized to the show. He welcomed the sensory touch and quite obviously enjoyed every bit of the show. Some staff were practically brought to tears to see his interaction. Total credit to the Bamboozle team. Words cannot express what they bring to students.
So, I mean, with what Bamboozle did, this is life-changing.
Massive. And it's not just happening in this country, AD. Bamboozle has got a nationwide sort of credit. It's doing very, very well across the whole of the UK and sort of recognised by the Arts Council as a leading theatre company. But also, it's touring the world now. It's been to Shanghai, it's been to Sydney, Beijing, Melbourne, for example.
All in from Leicester. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? You know, just from, like you said, from 1994 to relatively a charity still in its infancy, you could argue, only just over 20 years old.
It's not one of the big boys.
No. I mean, it's incredible work that Bamboozle do. Tell me, there's a big night coming up as well with a gala night.
Yeah, there are several things coming up. The first thing that's coming is the gala night, and I knew nothing about this, as you'd imagine, but I'm told that it is one of the best, if not the best, gala dinner in Leicestershire, and it's 12th of May. It's a night of great food, entertainment, and, as you might expect, auction lots, because what we do is about raising money. All of this, or everything that happens, we've got to generate the money. So we will obviously charge for the theatre visits and the school visits, but stuff that is done for families is free. So we've actually got to get money through grants or by raising money, and there's a lot to raise to be able to do all of this. So, yep, you can join a table. It's £500 for a table of 10, or you can get a corporate package for $750. And there are some absolutely amazing auction lots out there. So, I mean, you're a fan of Leicester City.
Yeah, I'm a massive City fan.
I don't know if you've heard of this artist. It's called Paul Wright.
Yes.
There are 3 Paul Wright original paintings, including a huge, it's about a metre square, Claudio painting.
King Claudio. He's the man.
Yeah.
He's the man.
And it's absolutely amazing. There are holidays. There's a tour of CBBC and CBeebies and the cast up for grabs. There's a table for 10 for the Ladies' Day at the racecourse, and that's sold out already. There's Tigers tickets. There's a present your own radio show. More of that in a minute. And there's this karting at the Stretton Circuit. There's all sorts of stuff. Absolutely fantastic.
I want to know more about this present your own radio show. My job's not up for grabs already, is it, Gary? I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah, somebody's going to come and boot you out, Eddie, and take over.
This is something you're heavily involved with, so tell me about this then.
This one is... I thought I'd sort of try to raise some money, but before I tell you that, I've got to tell you that Chris Davies, who is the CEO, is 70 this year, and he's trying to raise £70,000 doing 3 immense tasks, and he's going to cycle the Pyrenees in September. He's going to climb 3 peaks. He's going to do a marathon around the Leicester racecourse, and if anybody wants to be involved in that, just have a look at the website and they can get involved. What we want is people to try to raise £70. So I thought I'd try to do it differently, because most of that time, apart from the 3 peaks, I can't be involved. So I'm going to try to do, stand by for this, I'm going to try to do with a friend of mine a 48-hour marathon radio presentation show in the summer. So for 48 hours we're going to be on the radio non-stop and try to stay awake. Matchsticks under the eyelids.
48 hours?
Yep.
I mean, I've got to be honest with you, I'm not trying to put you off this or anything like this, but I do 4 hours. I need producer Hayden to go and make me one of his special cups of coffee. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just after 4 hours.
You have just put me off. No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
What an incredible thing today. I want to know more about this. If we can help you, if you need, if you want a crash course or anything like that, Gary.
Yes, please.
I'm your man. Any advice you need, I'll help you. I think that's magic, what you're doing. Everything that you stand for, all that Bamboozle do. If people want more information about getting involved with the gala, sponsoring, seeing all of Chris's, big three challenges, what's the website? Where can we direct people
The website is www.bamboozletheatre.co.uk. Have a look at that. There's all sorts of ways they can help. You can help by sort of clicking a button on the website and just sort of making a contribution. You could join in some of the charity events. You could give us a lot for the auction. You could come along to the gala evening. All sorts of things that people can do to help out.
Gary, it's wonderful to see you as ever. The best of luck with that. This is not going to be the last time we talk about that.
I'm sure it isn't.
I'm looking forward to it. Gary Tower, thank you for joining us and telling us about the great work that Bamboozle do.